Wife cheated. I forgive her. 6 months later, I am done with everything. I've been lurking here for a while, but finally decided to share my story. I, 34, recently went through something that's left me questioning everything, and I really need some outside perspectives. 6 months ago, my wife, 32, and I had a huge argument. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, just the usual stress from work and life piling up. That night, I tried calling her multiple times, but she never picked up. I ended up falling asleep on the couch, worried sick, imagining all sorts of things. The next morning, she came home with tears streaming down her face. She sat me down and confessed she had slept with my best friend. She didn't spare any details when I asked her questions, and her honesty was brutal. She told me he was better, that she felt touched and like a woman again. I had read that people would trickle truth, but she just spit it all out. She said she regretted it not because it wasn't good, but because it wasn't with me, and she hated who she became in that moment. I was so devastated and just immediately asked for a divorce. She broke down, begging me not to end things, swearing to do whatever it took to make things right. In my shock and confusion, I gave in to her seduction. To this day, I can't believe I did that right when she came back from him. From that point on, she did everything I asked and more. She put a GPS on her car, downloaded Life 360, carried a voice recorder in her purse, and video called me every hour of the day. She gave me full access to her phone. Every time my ex-best friend or any guy tried to reach out, she blocked them without hesitation after she screenshotted and sent me who it was. She was doing everything right. In couples counseling, she would correct the counselor if they shifted any blame onto me, making it clear it was all her fault. Came to find out she cheated on her husband as well. She promised never to let temptation overcome her again. She kept telling me I was better in bed now, even better than my ex-best friend. But instead of making me feel good, it made me feel awful. I hated myself, so I started working out, getting in shape, and it only made her want more sex and tried to enjoy it thinking it would make things better. We tried to move forward. She showered me with affection, cooked my favorite meals, planned surprise dates, and left me little love notes around the house. Our friends and family thought we were the perfect couple, that we had overcome the worst and were stronger for it. Her parents and my parents begged me to stay, saying it was just a one-time drunken fuck-up, but I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Every time she kissed me, I wondered if she was thinking about him. Every time we made love, I questioned if she was comparing us. She was. 6 months have passed, and last night she asked if she could go to a party with her friends. She had been so good, video calling me every 30 minutes to show she was with her friends. But in my head, I couldn't shake the feeling that she was still cheating, even though there was no evidence. The final time, as she was video calling to show she was getting in the car, I asked her for a divorce. She rushed home, asking why. I told her I was grateful for her progress, but felt she wasn't truly sorry. She just didn't want to lose me. I don't know if that's the truth, but it's what I believe. So here I am, feeling like a monster for wanting to end it after she's worked so hard to fix things. She's been nothing but devoted and sincere in her efforts to make amends. Yet, I can't get over the image of her with my best friend, the pain of her betrayal. Every time I close my eyes, I see them together, and it tears me apart. All I think about is him and her. We were supposed to be only with each other, and she ruined that, and I never processed it and just caved in not even 24 hours later. The only thing I feel wrong about is waiting 6 months to come to this conclusion. I feel so lost and conflicted. I don't know if I'm punishing her or trying to save myself. Maybe this will all blow over and I'll just settle down, but I saw him the other day and it just screwed me. I hate my life. Relevant comments. OP. He was the main friend in our friend group we usually talked to when we got into fights, so when she got drunk, she called him because she didn't want to come back home to me yet. They went back to his place and she cried to him, and he took advantage of her, but she knew what she was doing. OP. She often tells me how much better I am at sex than I used to be, and that I'm getting back to my high school shape and becoming more of the man she knew I could be. It's just backhanded compliments, or at least they feel like it. Maybe it's my mind just playing tricks on me. Comment. She love-bombed you in a moment of weakness. The fact she said he was better should have been the deal-breaker at the very beginning. Dump her and move on. OP. You're right, I was the one who asked was he better. I have no idea why it does hurt to hear she was blatantly honest. Comment. This is the exact reason people generally advise not to take back a cheater. You need a short memory for it to work. I must say the fact it was your best friend is particularly vindictive. How did that come about? Did she pick a person who would hurt you the most? What was the fallout with your friend group? All in all, it sounds like she did all the right things, post-cheating obviously. The problem is it isn't enough, is it? You can't put the toothpaste back into the tube and all that. Ultimately, you have two options. Move on or look into therapy to see if you can ever accept what she did. I would pick the former, but given how regretful and hardworking she's been, see what works best for you. Maybe if it was a one-night stand with a stranger, with therapy I could accept it, but ultimately my principles wouldn't let me. A best friend would be a killer. OP. I've told our entire circle, we've all known each other since grade school, so some of them are just going to move past it, but some have blocked him. I'd say it's 50-50, but I get it, I'm not worried about it. You're right, he is a POS, but I really just can't believe it, and the circumstance she was in makes it even worse. Comment. I know it's difficult, but this will haunt you for the rest of your life if you stay with her. I hate to say this, but the fact that she seduced you to take her to bed immediately after coming back from his place is just insanely manipulative. You were vulnerable, and she knew it. OP. I'm going to try therapy before making my final decision, but I am leaning towards this being my path I take.